Now, to close today, I want to give you a picture of this gift that God has given you, all right? And I think this kind of offers up a word picture of the invitation that God has given to all of us at all of our churches and everyone online. As I mentioned earlier, before I started doing this, I spent a number of years in marketing and advertising. And one of my early jobs in my marketing career is I worked for the Atlanta Braves in their promotions department. And in 1991, something massively surprising happened. The Braves actually made the playoffs. It was just unbelievable. And then they made the World Series, and we're thinking, I think Jesus is coming back. It's somewhere in the book of Revelation that the Braves made the World Series. So if you remember this, back in 1991, they went on to play the Minnesota Twins, one of the best World Series of all time. And so one of my roles in the promotions department that we were doing is that Major League Baseball came and said, okay, here's the deal. We have these pregame and these postgame events and parties and tents around the stadium, and you're responsible for that, Brave staff. And here's the deal. It's got to be a great party, but if you forget everything about this, you've got to remember this one thing. If a person doesn't have a credential, they don't get into the party, okay? Because there's security issues and all this. So Major League Baseball is saying, hey, okay, if they don't have a credential, they don't get into the party, all right? Now, these were in the days of Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Turner Field didn't exist, okay? So we had several big tents all around Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It was the first home game of the World Series, and everything was going pretty well. Our first pregame parties were underway. And then I get a call on the radio from one of our staff. And he said, Jeff, we got an issue over here. I said, okay. So I walked over, and as I'm walking over, he walks up, and he goes, okay, here's the deal. There's a guy named Teddy Turner here. And he doesn't have a credential. I'm thinking, Teddy Turner, I bet he's related to somebody, Teddy Turner. And so he goes, yeah, he didn't have a credential, and you remember what Major League Baseball said. So he kind of pats me on the back, and he says, good luck with this one, and kind of walks off, okay? So I walk up to Teddy Turner, and I said, hey, my name's Jeff, and I work here, and I'm so sorry, but I don't know how to tell you this, but I can't let you in the party because you don't have a credential. And I'm pretty sure you're related to somebody that maybe owns the team, and I understand all that, but I'm kind of in a bind here. And he was so incredibly kind, so incredibly gracious. He said, it's not a big deal. He goes, it's not your fault, it's my fault. I left my credential at home. What I'm gonna do is I'll just stand outside the party, and then when the game starts, I'm gonna go on in. So I thought that was very, very gracious. Well, not 2 minutes later, I hear kind of a commotion. There's a big entourage. And guess who has arrived to the party? Teddy's dad, Ted Turner. And Ted's got this big entourage, so he's walking in, and he's about to come into the party, and he looks over, and he sees Teddy. And so I'm standing right here at the gate, right? And Ted stops, and the whole entourage stops as Ted stops. And he says, Teddy, what are you doing? Come over here. And so Teddy walks over and says, let's go in. He goes, well, Dad, I can't go because I don't have a credential. And so I'm thinking, well, this is the point that I go into ministry. I thought it would be a few years later, but here it is, this is the moment, So we're all standing there. I'll never forget this. Ted puts his arm around his son and said, Teddy, I'll be your credential. And he walks on into the party. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I ain't stupid either. Ted Turner was the perfect credential for me, okay? That's fine. You know what the scriptures teach? This is awesome. The scriptures teach that your heavenly Father is in the middle of this amazing party that he's planning for you. The scriptures call it a feast. And if you've ever been to a really, 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 really great party, multiply that by a gazillion, and you're going to get a little glimpse of the party that God is going to throw. He's in the middle of planning this amazing party. And do you know what Jesus has done for you? Jesus has done this for many of us, and you're here today and you've not yet accepted this. Do you know what Jesus wants to do for you? He wants to put his arm around you and say, let me be the credential to get you into the party.